And when I started eating this way, I'm not even kidding, within 3 days, all my symptoms were gone, and I felt like a dark cloud had lifted off of my head.
I think we can all agree that there's a mental health epidemic going on in the world today in modern society. And if you're on social media at all, you keep hearing people say, a carnivore diet helped my depression, my anxiety, my OCD, my ADHD, my schizophrenia. How? If you're suffering from a mental health condition right now, you're watching all this on social media going, how does eating meat improve my mental health? That doesn't make any sense. Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you how it makes sense and hopefully convince you to give it a 90-day try. First, I want you to watch this video that I found on TikTok. Yeah, TikTok, the place where wisdom goes to die. This young lady transformed her health by eating 3 ribeyes a day.
Eating ribeye steaks for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 7 months. And I know that sounds insane, but it has completely changed my life. I've been struggling with debilitating anxiety, depression, brain fog, like insane bloating and distension for 10 years. And when I started eating this way, I'm not even kidding, within 3 days, all my symptoms were gone, and I felt like a dark cloud had lifted off of my head. I'm not saying it's for everyone, like I'm still understanding so much about why it's helped me. But if you are struggling with chronic illness and like mystery symptoms and bloating and mental health issues, like I can't recommend it enough.
So you've got to be saying, ribeye, how does that improve your mental health? I don't understand. Well, here's actually how it can improve your mental health, in many cases drastically, in many cases completely reverse your mental health condition back to the normal state. First of all, you have to understand that most people are eating a plant-based diet. Sometimes it's because they think a plant-based diet is the healthiest way to eat, but very often it's accidental. They're not meaning to eat a plant-based diet. If you're just eating the standard crap at a restaurant in the supermarket, you're eating a plant-based diet. A plant-based diet is rich in something called antinutrients, which basically lock up whatever minerals or vitamins or amino acids or fatty acids that may be in the food that you're eating and keep your brain from benefiting from that nutrition. In many cases, a plant-based diet does not contain the nutrition that your brain actually needs. So when you eat a carnivore diet, when you eat 3 ribeyes a day, when you eat nothing but beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, first thing you're doing is removing all of those anti-nutrients from your diet. These things affect some people more than others. Maybe they're affecting you a lot. Now, when you start eating 3 ribeyes a day or beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, or just a carnivore diet of whatever flavor that you happen to enjoy, what are you adding to your diet that your brain may be deficient in? There's actually quite a long list, and I'm going to go through each one of them right now. You can write these down if you want to, or you can watch this video again and write them down later. The first is vitamin B12. There is no B12 in any plant food on planet Earth. If you're not getting enough B12, your brain and your mental health is going to suffer. Now, most people eating a plant-based diet, they've heard of B12. Maybe they take a supplement. In many cases, the supplement are very inferior in quality, and they're still not giving your brain the amount of B12 that your brain needs. All meat is rich in B12. What about creatine? You may have heard about that for weight loss, but meat's rich in creatine, and your brain actually needs creatine to function optimally. What about taurine? I bet you've never heard of that one. Turns out that it's great for mental health. It helps your brain in a number of ways. What about carnitine? What about carnosine? Both of these are not found in plants. They're found only in meat, just like taurine and B12, but your brain needs them for optimal function. Some people's brain needs much more of these nutrients than other people's brain. And there is this hypothesis that people with severe mental illness, their brain biochemistry, their brain physiology is worse at getting these things out of plant foods than people with good mental health on whatever diet. What about vitamin D3? Absolutely vital for proper optimal brain function. Most plant foods do not contain nearly enough vitamin D3. What about the fatty acids? Plants are rich in a fatty acid called ALA, but are deficient in the vital fatty acids called DHA and EPA. These are found only in animals, animal-based foods. Your brain has to have these in good amounts in order to function optimally. Heme iron. So there is iron in some plant foods, but it's called non-heme iron. And for many people, their body just cannot utilize non-heme iron as well as it can utilize heme iron that is found only in animal source foods. Heme iron makes your brain function better. What about zinc? What about vitamin K2? What about choline? What about anserine and hydroxyproline? All these things are found predominantly or only in a carnivore diet, carnivore foods, animal-based foods. They're not found in any meaningful quantity in plant-based foods. The other thing that people forget is that carnivore, especially if you're eating a higher fat carnivore, carnivore is keto. And being in a state of ketosis means that your body is producing ketones or ketone bodies, which your brain can use for energy in many cases better than it can use the glucose that you force your brain to burn when you're eating a plant-based diet. So these are not all the reasons, but these are just many reasons why this young lady's story does make physiological sense. Any doctor who hears, oh, carnivore reversed by mental health disease and think, oh, that's foolishness, they've forgotten about these nutrients that can be found either only in animal-based foods or only in meaningful quantities in animal-based foods. They've also forgotten about the anti-nutrients that are found in all plant foods to some degree, some of which affect some people much more than other people. I implore you, if you've been diagnosed with any mental health condition, if you're taking a medication for a mental health disorder, please try 90 days of carnivore. It can be like my friend from TikTok, 3 ribeyes a day. If you can't afford that, you can do carnivore with cheap ground beef and bologna and hot dogs. You can do it with beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. You can do it with beef, seafood, and eggs. There's any number of ways to do a carnivore diet, but I promise you it is going to improve your mental health to some degree. This is Dr. Barry. Give it a try and then come back to this video and leave me a comment about how it worked for you.